Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report, presented by 5v5hockey.com.
Yo, welcome back to the Red Wings Report on Healthy Scratch. Today we got some news. So the Philadelphia Flyers may be shopping Carter Hart. Is he a fit with the Red Wings? When I think about the answer to that question, I'm a little bit torn because one of my answers right away is absolutely, because why wouldn't you want another talented goalie on the team? That's a position that the Red Wings desperately need somebody to play alongside Ville Husso. I don't think that guy is going to be Alex Nedeljkovic. I don't think it's going to be Magnus Hellberg. I think we all know that that's probably not the guy to do the job. So when Carter Hart becomes available, the answer is yes, you look into it. And I'm sure that Steve Yzerman is looking into, can we afford Carter Hart? What is he going to cost? Now, that is going to be the question that we're going to try and answer by the end of this video. So let's pull up some of Carter Hart's stats here. So he's obviously played for the Flyers his whole career. He was a second-round pick in 2016. He has a career 296 goals against average. And this season, he went 22, 23, and 10 with a 294 save percentage of 0.907. So, to be quite frank with you, on a really bad Flyers team, I think he was the reason that they won a lot of their games. He's 24 years old. He has one more year left on his deal. I mean, looking at his cap hit, he's at 3.97. So basically $4 million for the next season. And then you'd have to re-sign him. And he'll be 25 at the time. I think this is something where the Red Wings can buy low on Carter Hart. This is a potential guy you would keep around for years and years to come. He might be the guy alongside someone like Sebastian Cossa, who's coming through, and we hope that he's going to be that first-round guy that we hope he's going to be. Carter Hart is a very, very good goalie. When you look at the statistics, I mean, his 2021 season didn't go very well. 21-22, not so great either. But again, the Flyers are not a good team. So, reflective of that is the records too. I mean, 13-24, 9-11. I mean, he's had 2 winning seasons with the Flyers, and it was in his first 2 seasons. So they're going into, I would say, full rebuild mode with Danny Briere as the GM. And I think this is a player that the Red Wings really seriously have to look at. We can look at the advanced stats actually right now. 42% projected wins above replacement, which is pretty average for a starter. Again, playing on the team that he did, the question we can always ask is, will he be better on a different team? Probably, because the Flyers are dog shit. So is basically his advanced stats here not looking so good, but he was getting shelled. You know what I mean? Looking at, medium danger, he was average. High danger, low danger, not very good. On the penalty kill, I mean, they got absolutely rocked. But if you look at his starts on the bottom here, excellent starts. He was above average in excellent starts, which, again, I have to look up what that actually puts into effect. There's obviously a lot of stats, like probably their goals against average, if they got a shutout, if they got the win, all combined to be like an excellent start. Quality start would be like, okay, average. Did you play pretty well? Bad starts would probably be where you get shelled and give up a certain amount of goals. So he had his fair share of excellent starts that maybe didn't end up in wins, that maybe were things where the team couldn't bail him out. This is where you look at the eye test. The Carter Hart, as 24-year-old, he's just in the wrong situation. Now, Detroit's situation would be a place where he could thrive. Absolutely. Definitely take a lot of the load off of Ville Husso. You wouldn't see Husso be starting 50-something games. I think you'd be a good split there. Kind of a prove it year for Carter Hart, making $4 million. If he had a good year, you're going to bump him up in pay to 6, probably 7. It depends on how he does. But he's young enough that he fits this core of the Red Wings roster, where if you sign him long-term, he'd be here for, some cup runs, hopefully. Now, there might be some of you that are out there that are saying, well, wait a minute, Buschy, if we just go sign a free agent, we don't have to give up any prospects, any players, any draft picks. Well, that's true. But I implore you, who are we going to go out there and sign that's going to be better than Carter Hart? Let's run through some of the names on the unrestricted free agent list coming up. And you tell me who you think is better than Carter Hart. Martin Jones, Tristan Jarry, James Reimer, Jonathan Quick, Jonas Corposalo, Cam Talbot, Freddie Anderson, Antti Ranta, Alex Stalock, Aiden Hill, maybe, but he's going to get paid. Yaroslav Halak, Semyon Varlamov, Brian Elliott, Thomas Grice, David Riddick, Colin D'Elia, Anthony Stolars, Magnus Hellberg, Michael Hutchinson, Alex Nedeljkovic, and the list goes way down from there. To me, there's really maybe like one or two on that list that I would possibly consider. Aiden Hill and maybe Jonas Corposalo. Those are the only two that I look at on here and go, yeah, that would be someone that I would look at. But again, with Hill playing as good as he is in the final, they win the Stanley Cup. He's going to get paid by somebody, and you have to make sure that he's the real deal because he hasn't even played all playoffs. They picked him off the scrap heap from, I think, San Jose, and all of a sudden he's a stud. Jonas Corposalo kind of crapped the bed with the Kings, and he was in a bad Columbus team. So who else is out there than Carter Hart? So what is it going to take to trade for Carter Hart? I think you're talking about one of the first round picks that we have this year, at least one of the second round ones, probably a top prospect, and maybe a young roster player like a Philip Zadina. Is that something that you're willing to do as a Red Wings fan to bring in a goalie for potentially only 1 year? And therein lies the dilemma. Do you want to give up a bunch of draft picks and players and prospects for a guy that he is restricted? He's here for a year, but that now he might get paid. So it's not like he's unrestricted. He's not going to go anywhere. The Red Wings would have his signing rates. The qualifying offer, I think, is only like 4.7. So it's not really that bad. And if things really don't work out, you could move him at the deadline. But are you going to get back what you gave up for him? There's so many questions when it comes to this. I think it's definitely worth the phone call to Danny Briere and go, listen, what are you looking for? Are you going with this Urson kid and Felix Sandstrom? Are you just going to roll with them? Do you want a goalie back? Because we don't really have one, because they're not getting Sebastian Cossa. I can tell you that. So that will be an absolute no. They're not going to get one of our top, young players like Lucas Raymond or anything like that. So you're looking at prospects like maybe William Wallander, Albert Johansson, plus a Philip Zadina, one of the first round picks, possibly not the 9th overall, maybe the lower one, and probably a second round pick. That's something where I would actually really look into doing that very seriously. I think it may be worth going after a goalie like that. Now, there may be other goalies that pop up in the trade market, during the draft or, during the summer, during the season. Like, who knows? I mean, all we know about Steve Yzerman is that he always is trading for commodities that are controllable. Restricted free agents being one of them. Young players under that entry-level deal, tons of control, lots of leverage, and lots of flexibility within the salary cap. $4 million for Carter Hart is not that much. So what I think is you make a serious phone call to the Flyers. You go, hey, here's what I can offer. Obviously, you would lowball them first. I'll give you my second first-round pick. I'll give you a second. I'll give you, Philip Zadina. And start there and see if you can get away with that. If they ask for maybe a prospect back, okay, we can have the conversation. But what you have to know at the end of the day, the Red Wings would be getting, in my opinion, a extremely good goalie. And in the right spot, like Detroit, I think he really could thrive.